And this is not quite like what we saw earlier this month, but it is still important for people with respiratory conditions to stay vigilant. 13 Wham's Stephanie Joseph joining us live from the Jazz Fest tonight, where the outdoor events are still going on as scheduled. Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, as we see people coming here to get ready for Jazz Fest tonight, a lot of them choosing not to wear masks. But today, as air quality did decline, many people were faced with the same choice: to put on a mask or leave it. The haze is back. Canadian wildfires have brought another round of smoke to Rochester-area skies. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, the local air quality index above 150 Wednesday morning. That means the air quality wasn't healthy to breathe, especially for sensitive groups.
I got a robocall from my pulmonologist saying stay inside if I don't have to be out.
While summertime is also considered patio season, some are choosing to sit inside.
Even, yesterday, first thing in the morning, by 9 o'clock, we're full out here. People are outside, laid back, enjoying the summertime. Not quite happening today.
One woman says the smoke is making her think twice about her plans.
It has been kind of a struggle to want to get out and walk around a bunch because I'm like, oh, my poor lungs.
Monroe County set up free mask distribution sites at some libraries and DMVs for those who wanted or needed a mask.
I'd ask you to please understand what your own personal risk is at the different thresholds and take the necessary precautions to protect you and your family.
Mask or not, folks are hoping the smoke clears and doesn't come back anytime soon.
I don't know. I hope it doesn't get worse. I hope that the fires calm down and go away soon.
Now, I did speak to a Jazz Fest representative who tells me everything will go on as planned tonight, and the festival will be handing out masks at every entrance provided by the county. If anything changes, an announcement will be made.
A local minister and health aide now charged with grand larceny after authorities say she stole thousands of dollars from a client. 13 Wham's Jackie Napier has reaction from the senior center where the alleged scam victim was living. Jackie, good evening.
That's right, Matt. Good evening. Alpha Harris, a former nursing assistant at Highlands at Brighton and home health aide, is accused of stealing more than $60,000 from an elderly woman who was living at Cloverwood Senior Living at the time.
Hilda McLeod is 90 years old. She relocated to Rochester from Northern Ireland in 1963. Following her husband's passing, Hilda found herself without any surviving family members. Eventually, Hilda was diagnosed with dementia and Parkinson's disease. In order to provide assistance to Hilda, who lived in one of the Cloverwood patio homes, Alpha Harris, a health aide, was hired.
My understanding is that this home health aide and the victim had an agreement where she was taking care, she was the caregiver for the victim. The victim has, I believe, Parkinson's disease and has a hard time writing. So she would sign the checks and then the health aide would fill out the checks and what the victim thought was the correct amount, but ultimately she was overcharging.
According to Hurley, the Economic Crimes Unit discovered Harris had allegedly embezzled more than $60,000 from Hilda by writing checks to herself. Hilda's attorneys also allege that Harris completed a mortgage application in their client's name for personal gain and withdrew funds from Hilda's account to make a down payment. Additionally, they claim that Harris included their client on a BMW car loan.
On that loan application, that was filled out by Harris. Harris listed Hilda as being her parent, which is obviously not true.
According to Hilda's healthcare proxy, Harris initially presented herself to Hilda as a minister. Now, we're told Hilda experiences a profound sense of disappointment, sadness, and violation.
Crime doesn't pay. It shouldn't pay. And when people do bad things to other people, they should face the consequences.
The Highlands at Brighton says Harris' employment has been suspended as the courts review criminal charges against her.
As many of us know, the labor shortage is felt in almost every industry, from restaurant staff to those in uniform protecting our communities. 13 Wham's Chase Howell spoke to New York State Police today on how to become a trooper. Chase, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Matt. Did you know that a person doesn't need a degree in criminology to join the New York State Police? In fact, one trooper I talked to is actually a dental hygienist before trading in her scrubs for a badge. A picture of Trooper Sean Heised's mother sits nudged in his squad car's dome light, reminding him every day why he joined the New York State Police.
My mother was a construction worker, and she was killed in a construction zone back in 1994, working on part of Interstate 86. And the motorist wasn't paying attention and hit her.
Heised has been a trooper for 17 years now.
Can I see your driver's license and registration, please?
Something he says he was called to do.
There's days where I come home and I just sit down in my chair in the living room and I'm like, oh man, that was a heck of a day. But then there's days where you do something that really, really reminds you why you got into this business in the first place, to help people.
But the difference between now and even 10 years ago is how many recruits are applying to become a trooper.
At that time, had around 60,000 people that took the exam that I took. It was a very, very competitive process, and it was very difficult to become a state trooper at that time. 10 years later, now, we're struggling to get people to become state troopers.
Trooper Linnea Crane says due to the drop in applicants, people worldwide can now apply. Something new they started about a year ago.
You could be in Iowa, you could be in Florida, you could be in Alaska, you could be overseas in the military, and you could become a New York State trooper.
Whether a person should become a trooper, Heised says it's not so much about the skill set as it is a feeling.
It's all about helping people, having a strong sense of what's right and wrong. You already know in your heart if you have those qualities. And if you have those qualities, I'm sure you felt the calling to do a job like this.
Beginning Saturday, July 1st, the application process to become a New York State trooper will open. We have the link on 13wham.com.